Good morning, everybody, and welcome in on this very bright and very sunny Monday morning in the middle of June. And I am Helen Jennings, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator who is based here in the UK. And I'm putting out a disclaimer right from the beginning today. I have been hit like a train with hay fever this year in a way that I've not been affected for years and years and years, possibly since I was quite small. So yeah, I am struggling a little bit, so apologies if I'm sniffing and sneezing and coughing and doing all of those sorts of things. And I have got the fan on in the background, so I hope that's not interfering with sound too much. But if you think I sound rough, you should see me. I look like I've been smacked in the face. My eyes are red and puffy, and what a state to be in. Never mind, we are here and we're going to do some playing, but we might be keeping it relatively simple today because I have pollen-addled brain, which means it's more addled than usual. So let's play. Let's have a play. And I thought we'd have a play. I happened to have this out over the weekend, and I thought actually that would be quite nice to play with on Monday. We've been looking at a few more masculine type cards as we get ready in this run up to Father's Day. Let's have a quick hello though. Morning Jay, morning Lisa, Emma, I bet you're suffering too. Jackie, Beryl, morning gang, morning everybody. So I've grabbed this one out, and I thought, I've had some thought, not a lot of thought, but there was some thought. I thought perhaps we'd take this nested label die and we'll grab some of the new Misty Moonlight. My inks and things should arrive tomorrow, so that'll be quite yeah, I bet you do, Emma. I bet my inks and things should arrive tomorrow, so that should be quite exciting. I have taken an antihistamine, yes, Caroline. I'm hoping it will kick in and improve the situation slightly. As I say, I've not been hit like this for a long time. I normally just have, well, I used to when I was a little girl, be quite bad. And then as the years went on, it seemed to be that I was a little bit more, it didn't affect me quite so much. But this year, whether it is exceptionally high or whether it just is, I don't know. I was Googling the hormonal effects of your hormones on things like that yesterday, just to see if that was a reason why. But hey ho, all interesting stuff. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we're going to have some Misty Moonlight in the background, because I thought we'd for one we'd do a bit of paper piecing, paper piecing, not paper piercing. That's something completely different. One is using bits of paper instead of colouring in. The other is putting holes in things. We're not going to be paper piercing. We're going to be paper piecing. So I thought we'd do some paper piecing. Now then, is that on there like that? Excellent. Might even go a bit wild and have it to one side or something. Who knows? Who knows where the morning will take us? We will let that adventure unfold as it will. Now, while I'm chatting to you, I just want to flag up if anybody has looked on my events page since last night. Wildly last night, I just went through and I've almost cleared everything off my upcoming events page. Now that doesn't mean that I am never ever doing events. It just means that for the time being, because I don't know what is going to be happening going forward and what going forward is going to look like, I don't think any of us do at this point. I thought the best thing to do was be to completely clear my Facebook page events of everything that is sort of hanging in the balance. Some things I know are not going to be coming back. Others may come back in different formats. we shall see. So it's looking a bit bare this morning, but panic not. That's because it's waiting for exciting new things to go on, and the exciting new things at the moment are on scraps of paper in sort of, you know, not quite worded format, but that will all be making clear, and I'll be putting out some of my ideas for ways forward. And for those of you, I know I've had one messaged this morning, for those of you that don't use things like Zoom, if you would like to be able to use things like Zoom, I am more than happy to assist you to do that, because it doesn't cost you anything to join Zoom. It just merely is downloading an app, and it's about sort of setting up a little get together, a little chat for the first time to help you get over, if it is about just setting up a little chat to help you get over that initial, well, I don't know what to do, then we can do that. I've done that with lots of people, both within my Love-a-Duckie groups and outside with other groups. My little book, church book reading group had a little Zoom get together last week, and I had a couple of individual little sessions with a couple of those ladies to help them get onto Zoom and to practice it for the first time, so they felt confident coming in when we actually ran the group. So I'm more than happy to do that for people, to help them get set up initially so that they're able then to access all sorts of wonderful things. Right, so we have cut a stitched label out of some Whisper White card. What we're now going to do is we're going to stamp this little, and it's father and daughter, I think. It looks like it's got a little ponytail just there, and it reminds me of, well, that sort of image is very reminiscent of when you're little anyway, but this stamp set, when we first saw it, both of my girls went, oh, this is my granddaughter with her daddy, and here is my grandson with his daddy. That just sort of fitted. I think these styles of stamp sets do, but this could equally be one of my girls with my husband when they were little, obviously looking at something in the distance, or having a cuddle because they'd fallen over. They're just beautiful images. Aren't they lovely? So now what I'm going to do is I've got some of the in colour paper here. So now we're going to have fun dressing them, like dress your doll things that you had when you were little. And I'm definitely going to have this bit of paper because this is very jean-like. So we'll have some jeans. And then we need, let's have a look. I think I might give her a little pink t-shirt, and I might give her yellow jeans actually. Let's go with that sort of stripy for her trousers. So now we just need a shirt of some sort, t-shirt for Dad. Shall we give him some spots? Let's have a look, see what that looks like. Okay. Let's have a play. So now we're going to use our stamp again. So if we're using this for Dad's t-shirt, let's just stamp. We just need to make sure that we've got all of that on our paper, and we will cut that out in a minute. This one, we need to make sure we've got his, don't need the ground bit, we just need his jeans on there, ready to cut out. And then our little girl, this just needs to be enough for her t-shirt here, and this just needs to be enough for her trousers. There, excellent. Right, let's cut these bits out now. going to cut round. I think it's going to come round there. There's her little t-shirt. And there's her leg just there. And then her little bottom bit we're going to do separately because that's the other side of Dad's arm. Oh, that's a very tiny bit. That's going to come in just there, like that. So we've now instantly got our little girl coloured in, as it was. Let's come in with Dad's jeans. Of course, you can do this paper piecing technique with lots of things. You can have multicoloured I wonder if I stamped that far enough up. Might have missed it a bit on that side. Just need to cut her foot out of there. And then those look really jean-like, don't they, those bits of paper? And then we just need to do his t-shirt. So cut round her leg this side. And then let's see, what else have we got? Sorry, little girl, I'm chopping you off. But we need Dad's arm. Need to come around your arm here. And then we need to come across Dad's neck. And down this other side. In there. We just made that all wonky, but we will stick those in place. And then I think what we'll do is we'll get some watercolour pencils just to add some colour to hair and things. Excuse me, blowing my nose. Quick slurp of water, I think. Now let me just have a new Tombow on standby, because I know that is nearly empty. Right, let's put together these little pieces. I think we're going to go with the little pieces for her first, because some of those are quite tiny. Oh. There goes the bulk of her t-shirt. Let's get this little piece just here. So they're very trendy, mother and daughter, father and daughter, because they are in colours. Got that the wrong way round. Just squeeze that into place just there. So she's fashioning a nice magenta mantis t-shirt with some bumblebee trousers. Dad has some rather nice misty moonlight. We could have given the spotty ones, couldn't we? That would have been very trendy. Some nice misty moonlight jeans. With a cinnamon cider t-shirt. And this last piece of Dad's t-shirt to go in. Just gives you the opportunity to have fun with sort of fabrics and things. So there they are, now fully dressed, sporting their in colour fabrics. Just going to take a Calypso Coral watercolour pencil, just going to gently lay down a bit of a skin tone. Just by softly colouring. Obviously with the watercolour pencils, the more pressure you apply, the more colour you get. Dad's neck just there. Then we can decide on hair colour. Oh, I actually didn't leave her ponytail out there, did I? I should have cut that out. What I might do is just find a tiny slither. I just want a little slither of white card. Doesn't really matter what, because I think she does look a bit odd without her ponytail in. So let's just add that in on the top, I think. So just this little bit just here. don't want to lose it. But I think I've got my eye on it. That will make a difference just in there. So let me pick it up, come here. Let me give her a ponytail back. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. I'm going to leave that for just a second, just to settle, and then I'll come back and put some colour on that. So her hair, I just put down a little bit of Daffodil Delight and a bit of Cajun Craze, just to sort of give some highlights. Dad will perhaps go in. Got some early espresso here, perhaps give him some brown hair. Right, let's give some colour on her ponytail. Actually made all the difference, didn't it, having that, putting the ponytail back. There we go. And then just add shoes. That's a bit of Night of Navy just for some shoes down there. We also add in a bit of ground. Have them standing on some grass. And then we'll take the balmy blue and we'll just add in some sky around them. Nice blue sky. So where has our card base gone? I love the sentiment in this stamp set. There's some lovely ones, but this one about I grew up loved, that seems very appropriate for this one. Let's see if I think if we cut a bit of white card from there, my oddments here, I'm just trying to find an oddment that's just big enough for that. Perfect. How exciting. Have you been painting something exciting, Div, or is it like a wall or a fence? Even that's quite exciting if it's starting to come round and look lovely. So that's really lovely. That stamp is sort of supposed to look sort of grungy and aged, and I think I'm going to cut the end off of this so that we've got like an arrow coming in, almost looks like a tab on your jeans. We just need a bit of something in that background, and I don't think it used to be much. I'm wondering about an embossing folder. We could use the old paper one. We could use the Tasteful Textiles one. That might be quite nice. Let's go with the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder on this piece of Misty Moonlight card. Just find my 3D embossing plate. Run that through there. So this is the one that goes with the Tasteful Touches stamp set, but sort of it gives it, let me pick that up, there we go. Can you see how it gives it sort of like that, almost like handmade paper, that sort of feel to it. So that's a nice feel in the background. Adds a bit of something to that card. I'm wondering if I'm going to grab my trusty dog punch, not because I'm going to add a dog on, but because I just love these little hearts, are so good out of here. And the other thing that we've got that I don't think I've used yet that would probably work quite nicely is this new, so it's Misty Moonlight white with a silver thread running through it. That would be quite nice on there somewhere. Okay, so a fairly clean and simple sort of a card. Let me just find a piece of thick Whisper White to make our card base. We'll swing that round and score that. Quick slurp of my tea. Right, where shall we have? Our thread. I think we'll have some just running round here, just in the background, not being too fussy. We don't want anything too fussy, I don't think, on this card. I think it's going for a clean and simple look. We're letting that lovely image do the work, because it doesn't really need much else with it, because it's just so lovely. And we've got quite a collection of these little stamps now. We've got this one with the dads, we've got the one, the beautiful moments, which is sort of more mums and girls. We've got the nice new one in the catalogue that's couples. Let's tweak this a bit so that we've got these. Coming out either side. Let's put that up on some dimensionals. Oh, doesn't lose that little heart. Be still, my heart. Yeah, I think we'll have this coming in underneath the got little mini dimensionals anywhere. We'll have this coming in underneath our threads. And we'll stick our little heart on. So that's some paper piecing. Stamping onto your paper and cutting out the different bits and using your patterned paper to colour in your image. Looking quite fun. And that lovely background embossed with that textile embossing folder. Words. There was a song, isn't there? Words don't come easy to me. Scott Fitzgerald. Why on earth do I remember that? I don't know. I bet if you were to have asked me that in a quiz, I wouldn't have been able to think of that. It just suddenly popped into my head. So there we go. There is one little card. Oh, we haven't stuck that on there. Created with this gorgeous stamp set. And then I think we need to do, as we're thinking of Father's Day, I think this one needs to be the other one that we use. And this sentiment of being a good dad starts with being a good man. Now, let's have a think. I think, yeah, just make sure I've got a bit of shimmery white. I have. I think we're going to start with a bit of shimmery white for this one. And, ooh, a stitched circle from some shimmery white card. Just swap my mats back. Remove my tea. Good, Caroline. I remember I'm not the only one. So words may not be coming easy to me this morning, but I remembered that song. Such is life. Right. So we're going to be playing, I think, with a bit of watercolour with this one. So we need to grab our stays on. Yeah, I think we'll go black stays on. I think possibly this block might be not really quite wide enough. Let's come this one then. And let's give it a good ink up with our stays on. It's really quite warm today, so we don't really want to be messing about too much. I'm going to have it so that hopefully his legs are disappearing off the end of the circle. Perfect. And then we'll grab some colours. What shall we have? Picked up some quite primary sort of colours. The Pacific Point, Real Red, Old Olive, Crushed Curry. We'll just grab Seaside Spray. Actually, the other day I put my apron on and I was able to tuck my microphone wire in my apron pocket, which was a good idea. Forgot that this morning. Let's try and remember. Right. So let's move these watercolour pencils back into their pot. And let's find hopefully a water brush. I haven't yet got my hands on the new water brushes. Looking forward to trying those out, particularly the new really wide one. Right, so let's go with some Pacific Point for Dad's jeans, I think. We could have gone Night of Navy, but these are more, obviously a bit more stone washed. Now I think I've decided that Dad's going to have a nice real red t-shirt on. Might come out a bit pinky. Let me get rid of that bit of fluff on the end of that brush. Just add in a bit more pigment so that it's a bit more red than pink. Let that dry a bit and then we can come back to it. I think we'll give a little chap on Dad's shoulders. Blot that a bit of this where it's seeped over. That's some blot that out a bit and put a bit more in there. Right, so I think we'll go with a yellow t-shirt. Looks like it's a long sleeved, could be a hoodie or something. Again, we can decide how dark we want this to be depending on how much colour we add in. Just dab a bit of water off my brush so that it's not quite so diluted. And then I think we're going to give him some old olive. There we go. Just to pick up a bit of colour for the little one's hair and something for, you know, that's not the one I want. Don't want to give him mint macarons, softly suede skin. That would be very odd, unless we were making alien people. So let's come in with some soft suede for his hair. This wasn't the ideal brush because it's one of the bigger ones. It needed to be the smaller one, really. A bit of hair. And then let's make sure that this is coming clean. Let's get a bit of pedal pink. For arms. And we're going to assume that he's perhaps barefoot. Right, I'm going to give that a bit of a blast with the heat gun just to make sure that that is dry. Before going in a bit round the edges. Doesn't need to be bone dry, you just don't want it so wet that the colours are sort of merging together. Let's have a bit of seaside spray in this background. Come off. So it's just a really nice pale blue. It's sort of almost not much of anything, but just takes away the starkness of the background, gives them a sense of being somewhere. Right, so there we have them watercoloured in their little stitched circle. Let's have a look. Wanted, what have I done with those? I've been using yesterday the Tasteful Touches stamp set. That also meant I had the Tasteful labels out somewhere. They are. That one possibly. Let me cut that also out of shimmery white so that the base colours on both the painted circle and the back of the label are the same. These are quite nice because it gives you like an embossed outline to these dies. So again, I'm going to take my stays on. So we're having quite a gentle start to the day, to the week this week. Bit of colouring in. I might also put a bit of a blue, apparently dog-filled. That's it. Excuse me. Right. We need to sort out our background for them. Trimmer, trimmer, wherefore art thou, trimmer? Well, goodness me. Oh, there it is. So I can't think it's going to be very far away. We had it just now. So I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White card and score it. This is sort of already cut, a piece of A4 already cut in half. I'm going to score it in half. But then me does think. We know that the front of a piece of the card is 10.5. So I'm going to go for round about 5.25 and just trim that off. And then we obviously need some backgrounds to go in there, so otherwise it looks much too bare. So let's find some Seaside spray, and I need a piece of Seaside spray that is 10 by 14.4. to come in the back there. And I need a piece that is sort of 4 3/4 centimetres by 14.4, and that hopefully should sit on the front there. Good start. I think we do need something else. Let's have a little ponder on what papers we've got. I haven't got all of the papers yet. So let's dig about. In good taste ones, these ones that have got lots of nice textures and things on. Let's see if there's something there that talks to us of adding in to our so we could go no, I don't think so. I think we need to. Ooh, what about making our own background? Let's try with the small piece first, because we can then cut that again if we think we need to. I'm going to grab my Stamparatus and let's put our plate in place. We know it's coming from this corner here down to this corner here. Can bring that across. Let's come up a bit. That's better. Right, I'm going to take the Seaside Spray ink pad. So we're just going to go tone on tone and see what that looks like. So let's just tap that all over that birch background. So this is the birch background stamp. Give it a good rub. Ooh, that's fun. Yep, quite liking that. So let's come in with the other one as well then. So I'll bring it over a smidge. Yep, I think we're going to be completely covered just there. So let's ink up the entire background. Stamparatus is really good for backgrounds because you are able to give it a really good press down, and because they're big old stamps. Perfect. And make all the difference to our projects. Let's stick those in place. We've got a couple of nice new background stamps in the catalogue. One is a camouflage effect, and the other one, there's a stacked stone, and then there's one that's sort of like a paint effect, I think. Can't remember what they call it. Where have I buried my catalogue? Oops. Just torn my page. Let's flick. Here we go. So we just used the birch, and we've got the all wired up and the buffalo check. So the new ones are this dry brush. So it gives you an effect of sort of rubbing a dry brush across the surface. So like this just here, really pretty. Looks lovely, doesn't it, on that background in that card. You've got the camouflage, which they've used here to make this bag. And then they've got this stacked stone. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on that one. So we've now got our birch background. We've got our little greeting. And we've got our dad. So when it comes to sticking this on, we must remember just to put our adhesive on half of our circle, because otherwise we'll stick to the other side and that won't do. Stick it just there. Have this coming down just here. I think I'm going to grab from one of the backgroundy stamps. You haven't got any. Just want My Meadow. You have. Just going to put some little birds in the sky. would have been easier to have wanted to do this before I'd stuck it together, I'm sure. Just think, a few little birdies in the sky just there would be good. Those little bird stamps, adding those in, that wasn't a good idea, was it, putting stays on there? They make such a difference. That's a bit wonky. Can I ease it round a little bit? Okay, feels as if that wants just a little bit something else. Can't decide what. Where is my... Where's our dies gone? Just here. Okay, I'm going to just pop in a couple of little banners. What shall we have banners of? Let's take another background stamp. Let's have a background stamp fest going on. And we'll take our birch stamp off of our Stamparatus and put our buffalo check one in place. Just going to grab a little bit of Whisper White card. So we're going to have a white background. Again, I'm going to come in with Seaside Spray ink. Which no wonder I can't find it. It's fallen on the floor. I'm just going to ink that up. Now this one does invariably give a sort of a almost grungy type effect on this stamp. Ooh. While it's stuck there, we'll give that a bit of a rub. Oh, that's quite pretty. So then I'm going to take my little the magnets have attached to all of the dies. Let's take my little banner die here, and I'm going to cut a couple of these banners. These little label dies are so useful. I've got a couple of sets of them now that are just fab. Because not only are they good for greetings, but they are also good for doing little things like this and adding in some detail just like that. And that's also where those background stamps come into their own, because they're just be able to go, oh, haven't quite got the paper I want. I know, let's make our own. I actually want to trim the end off of that a little bit. Let me just move these over. Let's just trim a bit off the end so that can be sort of sticking up, but not quite so far across. And I'm wondering if we should have another little one coming in the top there. It does only want to be a little one, so I'm not even going to worry about the fact that it's going to cut it a bit short. Plate. That way, I think. And have that one sitting flat. So just by chopping the front of that card in half, we've made that a bit more of a different shape. So there we have it, a bit of a gentle start to the week. One, because it's Monday morning, and two, because I'm feeling a bit pants, to be honest. So we've had a couple of cards, had a nice little time playing, which is always good for you when you're feeling a bit pants. So there we go. This one, we did our paper piecing and just stamped those onto some in colour paper and used that to colour our image as it was. And then this one, we've done some watercolouring. We've got some nice primary colours going on in there. And added in some background stamps. So, we've travelled a little bit of ground. Thank you for joining me. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully feeling a bit better. I think the pollen count's supposed to drop tomorrow a little bit, so hopefully won't be quite so sniffly. But I will be here anyway, so I will see you then.